What is one thing that in all your years of life and all the experiences you've been through and where you find yourself today, what is one thing you know for certain?
I don't want this to feel like it's a cop-out, but the one thing that I know for certain is that I don't know anything with certainty. You always want certainty in something, right? It's safe. It makes you, comforting. And sometimes, growing up, your parents provide you that certainty of a place, of a thing, whether that's family, religion, anything, right? I think that's where you go to find certainty. But I feel like the place I'm at right now, knowing that nothing is certain, allows me to be in a space where I can always grow and learn, and I'm open to learning new things.
Welcome back. Welcome home. Episode 225 of the UR podcast. Man, it feels good to be back.
Feels good
to be back with everyone.
Guys, are we saying this is a family show? It's a family show.
It's a family show.
It's a family pod.
Family
pod.
Family pod.
Do people know?
Today,
Do people know? You're
the
my
brothers
brother.
are here.
The brothers
Yes.
are here. Legit.
Yeah. Brothers are here today.
I love it. Shout out to the real partner of the UR podcast, Anytown Actors Lab. If you're trying to act or you're in the middle of learning acting and you're kind of lost, I'm going to be real. There's no one else that's going to care about you, the actor, more than Adam Louder out in the Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas area.
Bang, bang.
He's also got online classes, free online consultation.
He's
Go hit him up.
He's doing a script analysis webinar coming up.
I mean,
Get involved.
On. If you're interested or you're in the middle of it, you're intermediate, it's all levels. He's been doing it for a long time, and we trust him and we love him. AnytownActorsLab.com.
Bang, bang.
Shout out to the patrons. We love you. If you rock with what we're doing, throw us a bone. It's real quick. Patreon.com/YouAreHerePodcast. It's the best way to support us. We love you. And we're also twitching after this. Monday nights, Tuesday nights.
It's competitive.
If you want to see when we're streaming, it's usually those days, but go on twitch.tv/YouAreHerePodcast. Click the follow button. And you're going to know. You're going to know. We're going to send you a little message every time we go live. And It's a beautiful time. We play games. We're a little bit competitive into Apex Legends right now. It's a fun time. We do a lot of other things.
Minimum 2 wins.
Minimum 2 wins.
Minimum 2 wins tonight.
Drop in, see what we're doing. We love you. And we're back, baby.
We're back.
Dave.
We're back. It's episode 224?
It's 25.
225.
I said it.
Always forget.
You weren't listening to me. You weren't listening to me.
Today, we have very special guest. Yes, he's my brother. Yes, he's my brother-in-law, but also my brother. And there's it's a 3-brother podcast. Okay? Even though Mike said he's not my brother before on this podcast, and then I solo podcast. And
When did I say that?
he took it back, said he was my friend, and then he said, oh, he's kind of like my brother anyway.
We got to dive
On my podcast. Today, we have Vignesh Asokan on this show, dude.
What up,
and I'm
what up,
so
guys?
psyched to have you, dude.
I'm excited.
So psyched. I want to start by saying thank you because a week ago you were like, dude, you checked off social media. I'm worried about you. You drove over to my house and we had a long conversation. And this kind of birthed the we've been talking about you coming on for a while. And I think everything is kind of aligned in the perfect time to have you in the seat right now, where we're at in life and what we're going through together.
I didn't say it yet. Before we even started this.
Yeah.
I'm sorry we had to reschedule.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. No,
I'm
no,
sorry,
no
and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
No worries. That was great. No. But yes, no.
It's official.
It's official.
You're here.
Thank you.
You are here.
Thank you
are
for
here.
having me.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good.
Yeah?
Yeah,
That's a very general thing to say. Is good.
very,
Dude, let's get into how do you feel about recording your first podcast?
Oh, yeah.
We never
you did
ask
the first
anyone
pod.
that ever.
How do you feel?
We've had a lot of, I think, first, kind of guest people like that. And we never ask, how you feeling actually about doing it?
Vig's an entertainer. Vig, you're on the mic a lot. And this is a different version of being on the mic, kind of.
Believe it or not, I was more, so it was like a 30-minute drive to come here, right?
Yeah.
So
I'm sorry.
it was, no. Everything in Jersey is 30 minutes.
Yeah, at least.
At this time of day. Mm-hmm. So I was more nervous about this than I typically am of speaking in front of a crowd.
Yeah.
Because a lot of it's more freeform. I feel like the intimacy was sort of, that was going to be something I felt like I needed to overcome. But right now, I'm feeling super comfortable.
Okay.
It's you guys.
that.
I feel like it'd be even worse if it was just me and the camera. Yeah. This is going to be really, I'd be more awkward about it. But I think having you both here, it's really good, actually. It's cool. A lot more comforting.
Okay, good.
I'm glad.
It's a lot more
Because you're in the middle. It's kind of like we're facing you. We're like,
no,
here's
it's
our
really
Tell us about something.
But it's like it's a lot more
Lights.
comforting than I thought. Like I feel like I would revert to like I was worried. I'm like I hope I don't. In my mind, I swear, like I was just saying, it's like I hope I'm just quiet. 'Cause I'm never quiet. Like me and Dave have like all these like long conversations all the time. And wait, I just show up on his podcast.
Yeah.
And then I just say nothing.
Dude.
And I'm like,
Imagine you came here after all that and you just stayed quiet the whole time.
the whole time, like,
We're like, so big. How do you feel about like the solar system? And you're like,
yes, it exists.
it's cool.
It's cool.
there.
It's cool.
I feel good about it.
Just left it at
That would be wild. I think that one of the coolest things I appreciate about you and being now a family member of yours for years, like we like bypassed all that stuff and went kind of like right into a brotherhood because we're a family. And you'll be at a family party or whatever, and like when we're in, I don't know, dude, it just seems to be like when we're around each other and we have like a second, it kind of becomes like walls are down. How are you doing? What are you thinking about? And then it's just like a deep, it always ends up in like a deep conversation where everyone's like, okay, like, let's go. The kids want to go. It's like, oh, damn. Like, okay, right. But we get like kind of, I feel like I get lost with you sometimes in like these stream of consciousness, like deep conversations.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is or why, but I think it's just because of who we are as people.
I think it's who we are as people, and I think we are close. Yeah. Like, so.
I lived with you for 2
I
years.
think
Vic
also
took
like
me in. Like
we all have friends that we'll see all the time.
Yeah.
Like you guys all like work together as well, right? Like
right.
This is like the industry you guys are both in. So you see Mike all the time. So it's like very, very easy to be like, yeah, it's my best friend. And it kind of flows really well, right? I think when we aren't so much in the same industry but like we are so close, it kind of reaffirms that like I don't need an amount of time with you. I just need any time, and I think we just get right back into it. It's like there's no pretense of like, yo, bro, you didn't call me. Like, why? Like it's a very selfless kind of love on both sides. I mean, I've never felt like, I felt like you needed me to like ever call you anytime, right? It's always been like we're just in it. Like, the minute we go back, we're just picking up from wherever we left off, right? Yeah. Like you're telling me about some project that's going on. I'm telling you about what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. I think it's like a true friendship.
Yeah. It feels like
all
but you're a friend of many, so it's like it's an honor to be a friend.
But not, I wouldn't say like I'm. I mean, like so are you, bro? Come on, you're the mayor, bro.
I don't know. I feel like as the years have gone on, it's like this. It's like a steady decline.
I think you're the mayor.
Very few, like select few. You know?
Dude, this is funny. I really want to bring this up because I've honestly literally just have been thinking about this today and last night when I was laying in bed after watching. I watched Normal People.
Up.
I watched don't say that. I watched Normal People again.
Love it.
And the end. Absolutely. The end destroys you.
Yeah.
And I started thinking about life.
Yep.
And I really started thinking about these relationships, like you said, like you have a very selfless thing, right? Like even I feel like with you too, me and you.
Fucking hope so.
We do.
Okay.
Do you feel like over time? Because remember in high school, you get in like friend groups, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like that really fizzles out after a long time.
Totally.
And you realize that like it's not really close relationships. It's just a bunch of people that are all know each other. Yeah. And that's what makes it close.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I find myself really being like, oh, it's a lot of like one-on-one friendships. It's not really like I'm going in a groups.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
But I know there's people that do that still,
yeah.
you know, at my age or, you know what I mean? And they don't stray away from that.
Right.
So I find it weird that some people go certain ways. You know what I mean? I wonder what that is.
It's a really...
You know?
Yeah.
I feel like it's a lot of depth, right? Like, I think in that high school sense, right? Like, it's just... You're just always together.
Yeah.
So then you have this, like, shared experience of the thing that is the school. Like, that's, like... Like, even, like military guys talk about this. Like, they're in this shared experience, right? Like, whatever that may be, big, small, traumatic, untraumatic. Like, just... Right? Like, you're just in that shared experience. Like, I would assume... And you guys can answer this for me. When you're working on a film, right? In that moment, everyone that's on that film, I feel like you would feel probably closer to in those like 3-4 weeks, months long, however the shooting's going for, right?
100%.
But then even afterwards, like after a year, there's a few people that you kind of like, you keep in touch with everyone, so you're still friends, but like in the same closeness that you two are even. I don't know if that like translates to like everyone in that sort of.
Yeah.
So it becomes that shared experience that you guys went through.
Yeah.
And therefore, like, you're together for that
It's
moment.
difficult. It's like you're on top of each other for a while, and like it's a period of time it's coming to an end, and it definitely. I think you leave with like a weird tether that like you only know about.
And you're forever linked, right? Like, so
forever.
There's always like that. Your high school friends, like that's the guy.
Right.
Like, you're always tethered to that point in that person's life.
Yeah.
And I think very few people supersede that to go to like such depth that like they see you transition through many parts of your life.
That's right. That's right.
I think those are the ones you keep forever.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm at the point of my age where I'm like, I'm happy with the friends I got.
Yeah.
And if I get more, it's fantastic. It's fucking great.
Yeah.
But I'm content like with the love I got around
Yeah,
me. So.
that's beautiful.
You know what I mean?
Dude, think about that. Like, were you ever at a point in your life where you were hungry for love?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
20s, early 20s.
Yeah, same.
Right there.
Same.
Like right there.
Isn't that weird though? That like we're so eager to like we desire it. Like we're like it's so human to just be like I just want to be accepted and loved for who I am. And
I think that connection matters a lot.
Yeah.
To us.
Yeah.
Like because we think of us in our worst moments and who was going to love you in that moment, right?
Right.
And then you feel like only my parents will.
Yeah.
Only mom understands. Like you don't ever think anyone else. And that's that whole idea of like found family, right? Like you find family that like kind of knows you good, bad, warts and all. And so like they become your friends for life, I think. And to your point, like it's just like you guys are in that stage, like you could be gone for a couple of weeks, but like you guys pick right back up. Right? Yeah. Like as if it were like blood brothers. Like like your brother's your brother. Like you're gonna see him because at this point you're tethered through your same mom or dad or whatever it is, right?
Right.
This is something you found. I think that makes it even more meaningful.
I agree.
In that sense, right?
I agree. Yeah. And I didn't have any growing up, so it was like it was very important to me to like find people that accepted me for who I am and like have their back and like be connected in that way. But there's another side of the coin too where you're just out to get as many people to love you as possible, and then you're like a love addict. You're like obsessed with the idea of like having people love you to the point where like, and this is, dude, let's get into it.
Let's go.
Right. I want to talk about your backstory. I want to talk about everything, but I also want to like just be real and just shoot from the hip. Like we were talking about in the car, getting off social media. I'm trying to just get away from it. I'm gone off of Instagram. One of the things that you called me out on, which I thought was really cool, was I started with like, oh, Dave, explain to me why you're doing this. Well, Vig, because I feel like I'm looking at too many lives. I'm not enjoying my own life. Okay, check. Like, sure, truth. And then the next thing's like, oh, I feel like I'm coveting other lives. So I'm looking at other people's lives saying, oh, I wish, what if, why don't I have? And you're like, cool, yeah, right on. What else? And like dig a little deeper. And then we kept talking about it and we found that I'm like not looking at people and thinking like, not empathizing. I'm not empathizing as much as I used to because I think I'm inundated with lives all the time of people I can't even speak to, or I can, but I just don't. And I think something was numbing me. And you were like, you should check that. You should check that empathy. Like you should be careful of how you're looking at people right now, especially online. Like if you are at all, like judging people, like saying, oh, I see someone on Instagram and they have a podcast, and it just feels disingenuous. It feels like they're setting this thing up and they're lobbing it up and smashing a home run, and the music comes in behind it, and you're like, you're trying to sell me on something. We're not having a real conversation. And you were said to me, I thought was really cool. It was like, but you're judging.
Yeah. But I also like made, no, for facts. Like that was like the big part of that. You're judging them. And then also realizing that like, and then we got into this whole bit of like, you take this thing called social media and even this podcast, let's say, right?
Right.
For not even for face value, like what it was, I think in its most idealistic sense meant to do.
Right.
Which was to connect with people. Right. And so when you see something that isn't that, which is what social media has become, it's heavily curated.
You can buy the blue checks now.
Yeah, you can buy the blue checks. You can like, when a girl's like, everyone's taking like 3, 4, 5, 10,000 different pictures to get that perfect picture, right? That perfect shot.
Right.
It's heavily curated, right? It's not what's really happening, right?
Yeah.
Even I would want to say like there's this Instagram thing where like how it started, how it's ending, or whatever. Like the thing where like there's the two sides. Even that's heavily curated for like the most laughs of like the difference, right?
That's right.
So like none of it is, it's very superficial
Right.
in that sense. And I think you are very idealistic in what you intended from this, like from any of these platforms.
Yeah.
And I think that's where, you know, like
I got
it
lost.
caught you. Yeah.
Yeah,
It caught
yeah,
you. Cause like, that's where that anger is. Like, I'm pouring my actual self out, right? Like,
Yeah.
and we talked about this. We talked about like, hey, even through like this whole podcast, right? It's an actual free form. Like, and that's the truth, guys. Like, it's not, I didn't prepare shit. I just wrote something down. Maybe I might have a thought I need to write down.
Yeah.
But like, you had told me like, yeah, no, it's just a conversation we have.
Yeah, that's right.
And I'm like, just off the cuff, like you guys don't even like plan like a thing. I was like, no, because it's real. Like I want to be, and that's why it's like you are here. I want us to be present in the moment, not having an agenda, not thinking about things we have to go like any boilerplate like materials we have to go to as far as the conversation goes with me and Mike, but like just us in this space in that time, right? And that's real. That's idealistic, and that's something that you're not going to catch.
Right.
I actually thought of something afterward too.
What's
like
that?
You know what it reminded me of? The first season of Real World.
Oh, whoa.
Ask me why.
Why?
So the first season, or no, the first season of Real World did really well. The second season, right? Sorry, I'm mixing up. If I remember correctly, the second season bombed.
Scripted.
No. Before it became scripted, the second season bombed, right? And the reason it bombed was
Because the second season people watched the first season people and they had a preconceived notion?
no, it was just regular people, and if regular people,
What is this show?
The real world?
I don't know.
Oh my.
it's like one of the original like reality TV shows.
MTV.
No, but I'll show you. But MTV Real World, like so, like it was one of the original like reality shows, right?
Yeah.
And so
Seven strangers picked to live in a house.
So yeah, that's all it was. It was like 7 people that would live in a house.
Okay.
But the second season, this is like in the 80s, bro, like or 90s, early 90s. Sorry.
Okay, I get it.
So with the
Yeah,
second season, though, right? What ended up happening was, I'm talking when it like bombed, like people didn't watch it as much,
Right.
or they turned off from it. Was that when you pick 7 people that kind of just get along, life is boring. Oh. So there was no drama, right? Like there was no drama to speak of. Like,
Right.
It's like, yeah. 7 cool
Everyone's
people.
getting along,
Everyone's
yeah,
cool.
yeah,
Like everyone's cool. Like it's real. It's actual real like reality. Like people tend to be nice to each other, right? No one's gonna throw like ketchup bottles at each other. Like nothing. This doesn't happen in real life. In actuality, like you can have some. So like to revamp it up, they started doing these like personality tests when they do these questionnaires when people would sign up for this, and then they started having like oppositional personality types,
Right.
and drama came to be.
See?
And that's why it like
So
kind
they
of,
managed how they casted the thing.
yeah.
They pinned people together, or they had diverse people who are on different sides of beliefs and all kinds of things that are like
purposefully.
yeah.
And
This
then it
dude doesn't believe in gay marriage, and then we're gonna bring the gay guy into the house. You know what I mean? Like,
and then everything got ramped up, right? Like to the point of like it got just over the top because then it became partially scripted,
right?
Because it's like, oh, this should be, like producers are feeding information
Right.
to them during like their like their confessionals,
Right.
So that was interesting to me, like how that something that can be authentic can be then bastardized in some weird way, right?
Right.
And so I think similarly, like we were talking about, like how like the original thing of like social media, it was for people to connect on things like they thought like in their little town that they thought no one else like either cared about or had the same interest in, and now they can find their tribe of people, right?
Yeah.
And then we've like kind of come from there, and the pendulum swung.
What do you think it is now? Like, what do you think social media is? I'll ask you this: what are you doing when you share a post? Like, why?
I think I've had the same, honestly, outlook about sharing stuff for like my whole life, even from way back in the day. Because I don't post like day-to-day life, right?
Yeah.
I don't really like, because then I feel like I'm like playing into that like social media, like look at my life,
Like
you know
stories,
what I mean?
like posting stories, like even that.
I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah.
I honestly don't think about it.
There's something there.
I think I like it. Like, I think there's something I like, so maybe someone else will like it.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah. Share.
Okay.
To
share.
In the truest sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You
Like,
want to share because you hope
Yeah.
that someone else out there that is a follower of yours enjoys what you're sharing and wants to talk or connect maybe.
Or even just look at it.
Or just, okay, whoa. Okay. So you just want someone to just see it.
Maybe. Yeah.
It's like putting up an image on a wall in a museum and saying, like, I
Yeah.
hope people see this.
Well, I feel like this, like, a social media account now is like, it's almost like an ID for us.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like it's how people can get a small idea of you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
And
But it's a curated idea.
yeah, it's curated.
Right.
You know, but you know, some people can try to do it truthfully, and some people don't. So
Yeah.
I think I try to do it as truthfully. You know,
yeah.
Right.
that's what I see it as. It's
Yeah.
like a truthful kind of image of myself.
Who you
what
are
I like, what I like to
today.
do, whatever stuff
Right.
like that.
Right.
You know.
It's just interesting, man.
Yeah.
Just
It is
interesting.
It is. I think I start posting a lot less now because it makes me think like, oh, like the majority of like like when you scroll through, right?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, this is like ads. This is curated to, you know, trying to sell you something, try to do something, try to make you feel a type of way, or just like new stuff. I guess I have too, but like a lot of it's just like when I'm about to press post, I'm like, what's the point now? You know. Even when we were talking about before, like you can buy the blue check thing now. It's like
yeah, for sure.
they're basically figuring out a way for you to pay now
Right.
for Instagram
And why are people paying, you think?
because they want to have more eyes. Because now everything's a business. You know what I mean? Everything's a way you can, you know,
Right.
market yourself or do something. You know, it's an opportunity.
Right.
I think that's the way things are going. You know?
I think no, and that's like, and it's become that thing like where you are a personal brand now, right?
yeah.
And what does that mean? Like, what the hell does that fucking mean?
Dude, I remember this was like a conversation I would really, really think hard about. Like, I'm telling you, when I was like 18.
Wow.
Like, oh, I gotta, like when I was still trying to do music stuff back then,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I was like, oh, I have to, like, what's my name gonna be? Like, I want it to be my name because I want it to be the brand, you know what I mean? Like, it's that entrepreneurial kind of, you know,
Yeah.
as like a artist or something.
Yeah.
Like, if it's always been there, you know what I mean? But now it's like, it's even more, I guess, like easy to become that,
Right.
you know?
Right.
And now it's like you can kind of just fake it.
well, yeah,
people are gonna
like,
think
it becomes like replicated, right? Like it's like everything.
Or at
is-
least with the blue check thing, is like you can, that's like the first step because it's automatically like boosting your posts or whatever, right?
Right.
So it's like, well,
Yeah, it's a skip the line.
here I am. Like,
Try to
I'm an influencer now.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think that's and I'm lucky because like I'm a little bit older than you, and I think I got away from that part of it, or like I escaped from that because I don't post for shit.
Right.
And this is something like in at least for the DJ business I should be, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
this
right.
is something I should be doing.
Right. Right.
Like,
You have your own business.
yeah, like it's something
you're
that
a small
they
business
tell you
owner.
to do, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
but I'm like, I don't know. I think
Like it would make sense for you to buy a blue check and to like promote your
on the business side, yeah.
As
Promoting,
far as the
like,
business,
yeah.
Shout out.
But like even my you can shout out.
Shout it out.
shout out. Give us a name.
DNS events.
DNS events.
DNS events.
Guys, you
what's
have
the
a wedding?
website?
What is it? DSEventSolutions.com.
There we go.
DSEventSolutions.com. You guys want
Scroll
you have a wedding
down.
coming up? Go
You
check
can
on the
it out.
catch
link.
us. You can catch us on Instagram, but that's the one. That's
IG.
curated.
Okay.
IG all day. But like my personal one,
Yeah,
right?
your
like,
yours. Yeah.
is like I haven't posted in over a year
Yeah.
since COVID.
Wow.
I think since COVID.
Yeah.
And it's only just because like to your point, like actually like that resonated heavy with me because I'm like, what's the point? Like I'm not. I don't
Yeah, it's like the people I care, like Dave, like he doesn't give a shit about my post.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it doesn't matter. No, but like I'm saying, like it doesn't matter. It's not gonna do any. It doesn't,
Well, you'll
it
show
doesn't
me
mean
what
anything.
you're talking about when I see you.
Exactly.
I think
So it's like, who's it going to?
Right.
I think the
It's not
only
going to the people I care
and the
about.
weirdest thing is like the utility that I get out of it that I can see, right? Or for people that want to know about like my kids or something, like right,
Right,
and
right.
keep it like
You share with
And so like Jen has it, but hers is private. Like mine's a public thing, right? Like so I wouldn't really put my kids up too much on my public profile like that, right? Like anyone can like see. But Jen is private, and usually like what I'll end up doing is like people I meet or people are like, oh, I want to see more pictures of your kids or whatever. I'm like, yeah, follow my wife.
Yeah. My wife's got all
So
the posts.
you'll get Jen like, yo, who's so and so? I'm like,
yeah.
oh yeah, it's a planner. Don't worry about it. It's cool. It's cool. I told him to go see
Right.
like your shit. Like
See the family, yeah.
See the family. So like in that way, I think there is some utility to that, like keeping up with you, and I think that's what my healthy relationship with social media is that like I'll look at Instagram as like a way of like catching up on like people that I know in my like oh cool, like they're doing that.
Right.
This is his kids now. They're like
Right.
this old and like it's cool. I think that's cool. But yeah, to your point, that like sort of like feeling sort of, I think you got to see the really negative fake side of it, and maybe you always knew it, but it hit you in the face.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you got people reaching out to you going,
I did.
Hey, you should do this thing. And you're like, oh, dude, someone connects.
Yeah.
And then it's like, no, do they?
It's not. Well, I think
or do
you're
they
right.
just want to shout?
Yeah. It was like a punch in the face.
And that, I think,
it felt like
you feel used.
Totally.
Yeah,
Totally. You're
yeah.
sharing like from the pod. We post clips, and one of them or two of them would be like, oh, 50,000, 100,000 people literally saw this, and then a few of those will reach out, and then a couple of those will say like, hey man, like, totally rocked my world. This thing that was on the pod, and like, I really do watch this and listen, and those things mean a lot. It's not like I receive them. I'm like they're landing. It means that I'm not doing this for myself, and like you're not doing this for yourself. We're really trying to like reach the one, and the one is responding now. And it felt like a service. It feels like a real service, and also I'm living in my truth. I'm with my best buddy. I'm with my brothers here. Like it feels good to do this, and it feels like I think as a human being, like, and we gotta get into philosophies. And I don't know whose philosophy this is, and this is where I feel like you're gonna really thrive. But like, I don't know who the philosopher is, but like, you can correct me, or you can tell me what's a philosophy on like a human being is kind of meant to be of service. I think you're at your best when you're of service. I don't know why that is. I think somehow if we're created in a certain way, or an evolutionary track that just made sense, that we're being of service to our children. Therefore, we're thriving, and we feel like we're worth it. We are doing something that is purposeful, and it is not about us. It's about the other person. I don't know why that is, but that's what this became. And when we would post it and reach a lot of eyes, I remember.
Those things are even like, I mean, I know you talk about your faith and like even like being raised like Christian, right?
Right.
That's very like, those are some Christian tenets too, selflessness, right? Like specifically like Catholicism, if you really think about it, right? Because like even like priests took a vow of not only celibacy, but they took a vow of also like being poor. What's that called when I'm being poor?
A vow of poverty?
Poverty, yeah. They take a vow of poverty. That's why they have to live in the rectory. Yep. Like that's like a whole thing. Like, that's right. Technically, they're not supposed to like take any material possession, right? Yeah. And then there's all those passages in the Bible where it's like, it's easier for the camel to go through an eye of a needle than it is for a rich man to go to heaven.
That's right.
Like that's all about service, right? Service to the poor, like
You see, I just speaking like a thought, like it's just like here you go. You see the facts that just fly out.
I can't name one thing.
No. That's why like
that's 12 years.
That's why you need a podcast.
Really? I'm not gonna.
But that's why you need a podcast. Like that's what I need.
Yeah.
I need like I'm gonna say a thing and then it's like boom. By the way, fact came from this book and bam.
But but like all of them.
Sorry.
Like, so there's all this.
I got juiced up because like this is like I knew this would happen and I'm psyched about it.
No, but I think that's where you get that from. It's like the idea is like service is probably a tenet in most faiths, right?
Yeah.
It's been just like, it's just not in society in general. I think we don't kind of talk about that unless it's like a buzzword to sell something else.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. It's a hashtag.
Yeah.
It's literally a hashtag.
It kind of just ruins the whole thing.
Okay. Dude, this is like the heart of my issue right now in life. Is like, I want to be so transparent and like, I want to be of service, and I want my life to be worth it because I feel when I'm in the pocket of my creative and like spiritual life, I'm giving something away. I'm like being. That's all I can like really give is like who I am today vulnerably. I'm not very very good at anything else. So if I'm doing this vulnerably, if I'm sharing vulnerably, and like trying to share that with some social media platform so that it reaches somebody. And then they receive and they're like, dude, I tuned in to I'll be listening to the next week's podcast because something you said made me feel less alone. Period.
That's big, yeah.
It's huge. It's a small sentence, but that's a big deal because in your life when somebody like you heard someone say a thing or you read a thing or you listened to a song, the song we just listened to, and you literally changed your perspective on how you're doing today.
Yeah.
Your hope rises. Hope is a big deal.
Yeah.
I think. And when it's monetized and when it has a fingerprint of like commercial something, there's a smudge on it.
Yeah, of course.
So it's no longer a pure thing anymore. It can't be.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to find like honesty in what I do.
Yeah.
Day to day.
Do you think it's
And I quit.
like an issue of do you think it's an issue of what is happening now isn't enough.
Good point.
You know?
Yes, I'm trying to practice gratitude more because I realized that I was coveting. I was doing one of the major sins of coveting other people's lives.
Yeah.
I'm looking outside of my life and saying, like, your life's better than my life.
Yeah.
Damn. So how can I be grateful for what I have if I don't have
Dude,
enough?
let's walk through, at least for that one thing.
Yeah.
Let's walk through, like, what better means. Like,
Love
doing
it.
better means.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Like,
Let's
in that
dive.
specific thing, right?
Let's dive.
Let's dive
That
in.
specific thing, right?
Come on. Yeah.
Is, like, what we have right now
Yeah.
is, like, we do this every week. We enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Living, I feel great.
Right.
You feel great.
Yeah.
Once it goes up, someone, every once in a while, someone reaches out.
You know you're getting
Says,
one
I
an
love
episode.
it. Yeah.
You know that.
You're, like, our mission is to get the one, right?
And we're doing it.
And you get it,
Yeah.
right?
257. Thank you guys.
So you get the one. You get the
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
I think what the problem is
Yeah.
you're looking at what could be the grand scale,
Yes.
right? Like, what if it's 1 million people?
But dog, it's because
Now let's walk through it.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Let's walk through it. You got 1 million people now.
Yeah. I'm still gonna be doing
That are
it.
feeling it.
I'm still gonna be doing that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be doing it more.
probably.
Yes.
Or who knows what's gonna happen?
I'm setting bad habits, dude. Because I'm inundating myself with other people's lives all the time on the phone.
And you know what's funny? It's like that's not what people are like feeling what they feel when we put it out
Yeah.
for,
That's right.
right?
That's right.
It's gonna change you, and it's gonna change the whole integrity of everything.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. You ever been lost, Vig?
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
You know,
like-
your boy he's a little lost.
I feel
man.
it, dude.
This is a life. Don't we get
feel it.
lost along the path sometimes?
Yeah.
Then we go down the wrong path once in a while.
But I think that makes you human as well. And I also
yeah.
I will say, and you can tell me if this is true or not.
Yeah, man.
Only you know you. And if it is that you were coveting, we talked about it even then, like if it's something that you were jealous of or like you felt like you needed, right?
Right.
Then maybe that needs to be checked, which is cool. Like that's great. My thing is, there's that fine line of like you're one of the first people that I ever met that like we talk about ikigai, like the whole idea of like you found your thing.
Yeah.
Like you found
Ikigai.
like you found your thing, right? I've never seen you so
Can you
happy.
say it on the pod for people who may not know what Ikigai is?
So ikigai is like you actually I think I learned it from the pod.
You might
No,
have
Mike's the one that brought. No, yeah,
No, you brought it up.
Who brought it up?
I didn't.
But then
You brought it up.
Yeah.
Somebody brought
One
it
of
up.
us.
I think it was.
We bounce off each
might
other.
have
So
been.
guys, check out an old episode. I'm just saying, check out an old episode.
Come on,
I'm gonna talk this to the camera. Old episode. It was in the pod that I heard this. Facts. Right? But it's like basically like your thing that completes your life, and I'm really not giving the definition any justice.
But it's service based because you are doing. Japan's all about. You were explaining the culture. It's like you are a part of the
System
community,
that makes it work
and
better.
you plug into it, and you are of
You
service
give up a little
in one
bit.
way.
You give up a little bit of you to make sure everything else works all as in tandem. Basically.
But
tandem.
Ikigai is like finding the thing you know you're meant to be doing
Yeah.
for the community,
like you're
and
you're in
and
line.
fully devote yourself.
embracing.
Probably giving up part of yourself too.
That's
That's
right. That's right.
because it is like everything, right? So like in that sense, like you found. I remember like going to your first acting classes and like just that energy, right? That radiated.
Yeah.
And so, like in all things in life, right? You are able to give of yourself, find those connections, and help someone, right? When you yourself feel complete and content. So I am curious. This is the question I posed to you. Like, was it the idea that I don't think there's anything wrong with being ambitious, right?
Yeah.
But that when that changes into jealousy, I think that's that fine line. That was that tightrope. I think you maybe are like the ambition of like, let me help as many people as I can.
There's no.
And then that going into like, what the hell is this?
I don't know.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
maybe that's what it was.
Yes.
In its essence, because I don't think anyone
you're so
goes.
good.
I don't think anyone goes out to like starts a pod, doesn't give a shit for like the first 9 months. I don't care. This is for me, Mike, whoever's whoever's listening. Otherwise, it's just me just shouting into the ether, right?
Yeah.
Like, what are my thoughts? And that's
Internet
fine.
dust.
Yeah, but that's fine. And that's for me. Like, you're doing it for yourselves,
That's
right? And like,
amazing.
it gives you purpose. It gives you a sense of thing. And this is like a record. Like, to me, the beauty of this is like you guys started it, are still doing it, right? Consistently. And if not anything, right? this is a beautiful record of a wonderful friendship.
Dude, I'll tell you what. It
You know what I mean? At the very
At the very least.
at the very least.
It
And
really
so, and that falls in the face of what like you are inundated with. Like to be complete, you need this many likes, you know, like post every Tuesday, post every Thursday, you know, get your brand up, you know, make sure you get this many eyes on it. Look at the statistics. Look at, you know, like, oh no, like, you know, the algorithm fucked us this week, you know, but you're not looking, you never looked at that from the origin of this thing or anything you guys did as the metric for success.
Right.
You guys already felt you were in some level like successful and the rest is just gravy, right? And if that was the mindset, then yeah, that's why you guys were like content and happy. And that's why I told you this. I'm like, dude, you're going to make it. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't think it's not, I knew this.
Right.
Right? It's just, it's not a matter of if, it's when.
Right. Right.
And that's just time catching up.
Right.
Right? So like, and that's, and until then, it wouldn't even matter because like, you're doing the thing you love.
Right. Right.
Right? And if you're doing the thing you love, then every day is fantastic.
You heard it here first. You Are Here podcast is ahead of its time.
Hell yeah.
From Vignesh Asokan in his mouth to your ears. Guys, Vig, what do you think, and this might get answers too, but like, Vig, you have a small business now that you've grown from nothing with homies. Like this is our thing. You've done this.
Yeah.
You've been steady growth for years. You guys have really built something now.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever trip where I'm tripping? Sometimes where it's like, do you ever feel like, as far as like growth and ambition, and I love that you brought this up because it's like, I don't know yet. I have to like clear out ambition and I have to just say, I'm happy here. For me to be at peace right now, I need to get comfortable with this ambition and balancing.
Oh no,
gratitude,
dude, absolutely. Like I think for my business, it was like so. We started, and we didn't know, right? We always like make the joke that we're shitty businessmen, and you gotta have my partners here, and they'll explain this to me. We're like such shit businessmen in that sense because we just wanted to do cool shit for people, right? And there was a point, I think 2019, we did like the most events we ever did. But we weren't happy.
Right.
It felt like work and it felt draining, right? And then I think COVID was probably one of the better things that happened in the sense of like, it made us rethink, at least between me and Smith, at least, and, you know, a couple of other guys, like, why is it we do the thing we do? Like, why do we like celebrating weddings, right? Like,
why is it?
And going back to the core, because nowhere else on earth do I get to celebrate something that is such a joyous and celebratory event, right? Like, it's just fire. Like, I'm blessed, and I don't hashtag stupid word. When you said fucking word blessed.
It's okay. It's a beautiful word.
No, it is. But again, it's like, but in my thing is like, dude, I'm celebrating something that's like fantastic. Like two people, like, you know, it doesn't matter who they are, what they're, you know, if they believe in God, don't believe in God, religious or not religious. Like, they're just saying, like, look, I'm choosing another person to spend the rest of my life with, and I'm going to celebrate that. And if that alone isn't something to be happy about,
love,
like, you know what I mean, that idea of love and real love, and like, and so in its best form, and so that I could do, and that's what keeps me going, and that's what gives you like your energy to just do it. And so it didn't become about how much we grew after that. I could be okay doing 10 or 100 events. It doesn't really matter, right? It just became, eventually people will gain awareness of how real and how seriously we take it, and how much like the couple means to us. Yeah. Truthfully. Yeah. Like, and you can, like, you know, people will know. And so there's no way in my mind, right? There's no way I could meaningfully tell someone without just telling one. Like, so most of my business is referrals. Like, it just becomes like, we become part of like their cousins, everyone, like their friends, like, you know, like everyone starts hiring us, right? And so, and I'm really proud of that, to be honest. Yeah. Because on some level, I don't have to sell this. I don't need to sell this.
I think that's when you're on to Ikigai.
Yeah, no, for facts. Like, that's dude,
I think that's like you found.
It keeps me going. Like, it's like the thing that it's like oxygen. I breathe like this. I will do this till I can't do this anymore.
And you mentioned in the car that day, like, and I relate. I don't. When I'm at my best with this thing, when I'm at the purity of this thing, I know I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be in this life because I don't need to be paid to do this.
Yeah.
I literally have another life devoted to like
to getting
covering everything else so that I can do this.
Do this, yeah. So I work a 9 to 5
Yeah.
to cover this.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I refuse to kind of sully that thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's like sacred. That's the sacred thing, right? That's the thing I care a lot about. And I don't ever want to kind of reduce that to anything else than what it is.
Right.
Let it be the thing it is. I will find a way this other way for the time being. And I mean, like eventually, like, yeah, of like all things in ambition, it's like, yeah, you'd like that thing to do everything, like pay your bills and everything.
Right,
But,
of course.
which again is that ambition part. Like the ambition is like, enough people know.
Yeah.
I'll be just, booked out enough here, but like enough times, like I don't have to worry about anything else. But I think understanding that, there's no metric of like being unsuccessful to me. You know what I mean? It's basically like, I'm here doing the thing I love.
What's better than this?
Yeah, what's better than this? Yeah, yeah.
How could this be better?
Yeah.
I want you to speak on. Sorry, Mike. I'm asking him like a million questions.
Go ahead.
Cut me off if you ever feel.
No.
You look handsome.
Thanks.
Just got to call it out. How do you feel about? I want you to speak on, because you have the 9 to 5. You also have a beautiful family, and dude,
man.
yes, my nieces and nephews I love. My sister-in-law, beautiful. I love your family, and I just want to because I have this thing where my wife is so supportive of the thing that doesn't pay a dime. She doesn't see nothing but my heart being filled when I do it, and she supports it, and she allows me to keep the she is with me in lockstep with this thing, and it means so much to me that she allows me to keep, not allows, but she is with me on this journey fully. Speak on your wife, man, Jenna, through all of this, having 3 children together and having to hustle and make both careers work and still pursue your thing. What does that mean to you? Who is she to you, dude?
That's why she's my wife,
dude. No, but
the thing about even to your point, why how we said in our 20s we're looking for love.
Yeah,
that's what this is. That's what this becomes. You found that other person, that deals with you at your worst. When you wouldn't even want to deal with yourself, they're okay with it. When you're when you don't want to talk, when you want to be quiet, they're just there, and they won't let go. They're just going to be there at the end too, even when you don't want to be with yourself, right? So that's huge, I think, and that's what I can say about her and her sister. That's why I know, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So to that end, it's everything, because I don't know how I would be if someone didn't like me doing this, right?
Yeah.
That's the biggest kind of, I think, I can't even imagine it, to be honest. It's there's no,
I take it for granted, to be honest, sometimes. I don't think about it.
I was going to just say, I was dude, I don't even think about it. I think just like you said, Lena does this too. Jenna sees it in my eyes, how happy I am doing these things, right? So.
And you're traveling a lot.
Oh yeah.
You have to sacrifice a lot to pursue your things, as do I. But it's a sacrifice that only a partner who loves you fully can I think take on.
Unconditional, yeah.
Totally unconditional. Yeah. They're strong women. They're really incredible partners, man.
Hell yeah. They're pit bulls.
Yeah, dude, they are. They're total pit bulls. But they're
my funniest thing is marrying a Munam is a sister. One of the sisters is they'll fight for you even when you didn't think there was a fight to be had.
They will be at someone's neck.
They'll
dude.
scrap. I'm bro, I'm dude, I'm 6'2", 280. I'm dude, if someone steps, I'm yo, my wife is anywhere in your shot. I'm oof.
You don't want that.
You don't want that.
Guys,
you're dude, if you're a big guy too. I'm yo, I most people would be more intimidated by us, and we're standing there in the car. We're yo,
chilling on the
our
wall.
wife is gonna fuck somebody up right now. We're gonna have to tear them off to somebody. This is not good.
But there's so much loyalty and unconditional love that I've never known before. I've never known that.
So much loyalty on that.
It just I see it in your family, and I just admire it. And being a dad, dude, I know you before you were a dad, and then you just seem to swiftly just become a father of 3, and it's I don't understand.
I don't know how swift it was,
dude, but it looks that way. You know what I mean? It just I see you now, and you got the bag, and I was hanging off your shoulder and like you're Vicky's like changing his shirt and you're getting a new shirt on him and like
you know what I will say about fatherhood though, I wanted it. I did want it.
Yeah.
Even if like I had like even like Sophia earlier than like I would have imagined.
Right.
But the idea of being a dad and a father was always there. Was always there.
Right.
And that's what I tell people. I'm like, dude, don't let anyone pressure you to have kids before you want to. Like, you know what I mean? Because like it's a big deal.
Yeah.
And I'd rather you decide either to push it off or whenever you're ready, right? Because you'll know. You will know because you'll feel like something's missing. But if nothing is missing in that moment, right? Then it's okay. My thing was like I knew I wanted that. I wanted to raise another human being. Right? Like this was something that was cool. Like it was like a thing that I wanted to do. So it was never a question. Like I was like, yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready for that. Always. And it's the idea that like it's a life you're bringing into the world that didn't ask to be here. So if they're here, you better be all into that shit. So I think that's what drives it. They're literally the best thing that's ever happened to me because they gave me purpose beyond belief. They gave me more ambition than I would have had for myself because homie can live off of $20 if you really give me a chance. You know what I mean? So like you gotta tell them you can do more with your life and like go after whatever it is because like it's always to me it's like example setting, right? It's like if they see their dad working hard or whatever, it means like okay, anything worth having, it's worth working hard for.
Wow.
And nothing comes easy. So like it's great, man. I think it is what I can't I love them. The things
I have a question for both of you.
Go ahead.
So, at this point in life, I want to ask for both of you, what do you think, if you could boil down to like one piece of advice about like marriage, finding someone or figuring out, like you find someone and figuring out into where you are now, you know what I mean? Through ups and downs, like if you could boil down to like just something you think is like important, for like a successful, relationship or family with kids, something like that.
You want to go first?
He's got more. He's got kids and a wife. So
yeah, he's got the got the full SUV.
the package.
You know that game Life with like you have the little car and then you could put the kids in the back seat. I always think about that. I don't know, man. I think about the beginning of like when we met and it was like, oh, Jesus, she's the most beautiful girl I've ever seen in my life. And like right away, that's what I thought. And then it was like months later, it was like at each other's throats, like nonstop, totally different lives and different ideals. And I didn't change at all. And like there's so many things that could have sent us off. And I'm like, why didn't it? Why didn't it? I think I've learned, it's like you said in the beginning, dude, like I don't know anything. And like, I'm learning about this person every day. Like there's moments now, bro, where, and I'm trying to do this more, where it's like she's telling me a joke or something, or she's just sitting on the couch and we're watching a show or something. And I don't, like most days I won't even look at, like I won't look to her and be like, wow. And then I catch myself more and more now saying, wow. Like I'm fully in love with the idea of her, who she actually is, at her worst, who she is, when she pisses me off. Like, I love this girl. I don't know how to describe it, man. It sounds corny. It sounds like not realistic. I really fucking do.
Yeah, it's not helping me at all.
No, bro. I guess I want to say this. Like, whoever it is that you're gonna fall in love with, it's gonna be like stages, and you're gonna get swept up, and it's gonna be like tumultuous, and you're gonna hit rocks, and you're gonna. But I would challenge you to like really befriend somebody, like really try to empathize and like get to know a girl who is, I don't know, just someone you don't know, and like try to like ask a billion questions and like get to know. And if you don't feel like a tide pulling you in, then it's probably not for you. And if you do, I say trust your fucking instincts, man. I trusted my instinct. I swear when I saw her, I said, fuck, I'm gonna marry this girl. I literally said it. And I don't know why that is. I never felt that way about another girl before. I always would like be like, her feet are too big. Her voice isn't right. I'd always find a fucking excuse. Yeah. And with Lena, it was like, I didn't even see her up close. And I said, oh, fuck. Yeah. I love her.
Shout out Corrados.
Yeah, shout out Karada for bringing this together, man. But I guess my piece of advice would be trust your instincts and also like change with them. Change with them. Don't set your feet and say, this is what I want with my life. You don't know what you're talking about. I know, I do. It's like you said in the beginning, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't fucking know everything. I'm learning with her and she's learning with me. So like be an adjustment, talk a lot, even when it's, especially when it's uncomfortable and you don't want to have an argument, talk about it. And, because you both need to be heard. You both need to be seen. And that was 7 piece of advice. Trust your instincts. Fuck, I talk too much.
No, you're doing fine.
I'm sorry.
I would say just
That's not one piece of advice, and I apologize.
Mine's a little different. I would say like you'll know it's real, right? When you love that person more than your relationship with that person. So it's the idea of that you're looking out for what's best for her and knowing that even if it's not with you, you just want her to be happy.
Fuck.
Right? And if you can do that, and that's the thought exercise you do, right? It's like, if you can do that.
You just did something to him.
That's the end of normal people.
That's the end of normal people.
That's when you know. That's when you know you got something there. Because then it's like, if I love you so much, I just want you to be happy. And if I'm the reason that I'm causing your unhappiness,
That's so true.
to know enough to be like, all right then, right? And then the hope is that that other person does the same thing for you, right? And then there is nothing that you can't overcome because you will fight. I mean, there is no perfect marriage that I know of, right? People fight all the time because you're in a constant state of growth. Like he was saying, like it's just, if you figure you get married by 35, you have another 35 fucking years of your life.
So
You know what I mean? Like people are gonna just stay the same. That's weird and boring.
No way.
Like no one stays the same. Like you know what I mean? People grow into their careers, to their lives. You see them change even when they become a parent, if that's what they choose to do. Right? It's just there's so many things that happen in that span of time. Like you're kidding yourself, and even you're not gonna be the same person.
That's
you
right.
know what I mean? So I think if you go in it with such selflessness as like saying like I love this person so much. It doesn't have to be with, you don't involve yourself into it, right? It's like outside of me, I love them that much and that they're enough and their happiness will be enough for me and it's not relational to you, right? And it's less like that. I think if you're able to get to that point, you're fine.
I love it.
Yeah.
Fuck. Where we at? I have a question for both of you. Because now we're talking about love.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
I'm going to stay out of this one. I'm not going to answer. I want you two to answer. Do you think that anything lasts forever?
Anything lasts forever.
And you talked about time in the car, man. It makes me want to ramble, but I'm not going to fucking ramble. I'm going to just shut my mouth. Do you think anything lasts forever? 'Cause we're fighting for this love shit. We're trying, you're trying to find someone you could like connect to. Love is important.
Yeah, it's not working.
No, don't say that. Don't say that. It's part of the journey.
Does anything last forever? Dang. I hope,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know, dude.
I'm dying.
What if like
I'm
I
dying
want to see what you're cooking up.
to talk about time with you.
Yeah, I was gonna.
I'm dying to do this.
Yeah.
But I fucking hate when I do this, dude, because I want you to just answer and for me to shut up.
Say it if you want.
No. You answer my question, and we'll see if we get there. Do you think anything lasts forever?
Yeah. I mean, to us, any moment that we wish would last forever. Because at the end of the day, like this moment of time, it's like we were saying, it's like time is a construct by people, right? So the idea that this moment, as long as we remember it and keep remembering it, it'll be with us forever. Because it's only here while we're here. You know what I mean?
But then it doesn't, right? If we go.
Yeah.
Oh,
but then
that's
it's gone
so
with us.
fucked.
So then it's
That's what I think. It's
but
like
that's
it's
but
gone
that's,
with you.
But that's our forever.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, what is forever to us?
Yeah, whatever is forever to us. I don't think when you think of it that way, you're thinking of yourself outside of yourself.
That's right. That's right.
So that's why I think even like death, it's not upsetting to the person who died.
Right.
It's always the people around them. That's what makes it such a beautiful thing. Like when you talk to people like who are in like a dark place, the best thing you can tell them is like, dude, you're enough, and this place would be different without you, right? As people feel like so alone in those moments, right? So, and it's the realization that like, no, there's other people that are affected by you. But yeah, to that point, like when we're not here, that's our forever, as far as we know. No one's ever really meaningfully came back and told me anything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's my thing. My forever is that right?
I think it lasts forever, dude. I think there's things that last forever.
Yeah.
Even where we're gone, dude, we decompose, we get back into the earth. Still, some part of us is there, right?
Oh yeah, no, I
A
mean,
little molecule, or
like
I feel like even that molecule can hold what we feel, in a way. You know,
I think it's a really cool sentiment. I mean, like in the sense of like, if
I'm not trying to be scientific, you know.
No, I
but
like
even,
trying
even
to be
if,
a little.
but if like nothing is like, I think what is it like
energy.
the law? Like it's what is it like Newton's law or somebody's law? Someone can fact check me later. But the idea that like nothing is lost or nothing can be lost or gained, right? Like energy in the entire universe is the same, right? So we come back to stardust, like
Right. It can't be created, no more
destroyed,
of it, or
yeah.
destroyed.
Yeah. So the idea of like matter cannot be created or destroyed. That means
So scientifically, we're just energy that's passing back and forth and to new places that where life is beginning and ending, and like, we're just sharing it and moving it around. We're passing the ball around,
yeah, more or less, yeah.
or we are the ball.
We are the ball. We're like this mix of,
I don't know why I was watching like fractals. You ever watch fractals?
No, what is that?
Fractals are like never ending, like loops of like a pattern that's like never ending. It could just loop forever. You know, if you keep zooming into it.
And you're sitting there
And
and
there's
just looking at it?
and there's like in nature, there's like natural fractals.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I don't know. I feel like it's like that idea of like, you know,
That lasts forever.
yeah,
Just
it's
keeps
like
going.
yeah, like the little piece, like the acorn that falls off the tree. You know, if it
But here's
either
the-
lives or dies.
Here's my thought on that though. Like a fractal, it proves you like it's the perception of forever, right?
Yeah.
But the natural fractal itself is still flat, circular. It's a thing
Yeah.
that could go away. So
Or
it's
yeah,
really
if you
not-
turn like this, it's
Yeah.
not a fractal anymore.
you know what I mean?
That's
So like
so wild.
it's all
It's how
perception.
you're perceived.
Yeah.
So you can perceive something as forever when in actuality it's just
I guess
in
we
the
just-
moment. So
yeah.
like,
And what we're seeing is only one version of how life or what existence is.
Yeah.
We're only seeing one from one angle.
Yeah.
Do you think in our lifetimes we're going to have to figure out like what happens like after
I don't think in life.
ever?
I think you maybe, I don't know. I'll never say I know, but maybe my hunch is like you find out most likely when you go. But I think that there's also some things, you know, I'm fully putting my antenna up to like, why when some shit happens does my hair stand on? There's a scientific explanation, I'm sure. Why does my heart feel like it swells? And why do I sometimes like hear voices? Not in a creepy way, but in like I'm said it creepy for fun.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
But like, you know, like I don't know, like why do you get in impulses? What is deja vu? Like
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I know for a fact I don't know it all. Like you were saying
Yeah.
before, bro. And let's before we go, right? Can we just talk a little bit about that? Like what don't you know?
What don't I know?
Yeah, man. Just rattle them off. What don't you know? Where are you now in life, and like what are you looking to find?
I'm looking to find.
Or are you looking to find anything? I don't mean to put words in your mouth.
No. I'm gonna see if what am I finding? I think I'm always on the constant search for like peace.
Okay.
Right, like just like that spirit in a spiritual sense, like of like
yeah.
like that quietude, right? Like I feel like I'm still at the stage of like, and maybe it's for the right reason. Like I don't have it yet because I'm not there yet, but like my mind is constantly going like all over the place, right? So I think that's the never-ending search.
Okay.
For just
Spirituality, you're talking?
spiritual, yeah, just spiritual
Spiritual
peace.
peace.
Like peace in the sense of like just calm.
Yes.
right? Like whatever that may be.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I agree 100%.
Yeah.
Are you in a place now of any like label, or like you could describe where you're at now with
I
that?
think I'm at the place where I feel like I need to be, which is like just trying to make it to the next stage. It's like it's in that rat race, like just trying, like, you know, because like you got kids in school. I think about my kids a lot. Like right now, it's like just like trying to get them to school, just trying to, you know, make them well-formed humans, like good people, like that sort of thing. I think that takes up a lot of my time. Yeah, I think it's just it's a good place. It's not a terrible place.
Yeah.
Right? There's stress all the time, of course, like, you know, money in life and everything like that. But like, I think it's just, I'm telling myself to enjoy the journey, right? Like not think too much about a destination or have something in mind of like where I want to be or where I want to end up or give myself a time, but like really, really like dig into the journey part of it. Yeah. And tell, like, you know, because yeah, man, this is all one life we have. So just sit back and enjoy those little moments.
And you're gonna like, you're never gonna be perfect. It's never gonna be perfect. Like,
Oh yeah. If I always, yeah. And it's also a constant reminder to myself too, right? Like to not expect sort of anything that, you know, will stress me out in that sense. Like accept the beauty that is, right? Even in its all like imperfection.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah. What's one of your biggest fears right now? What is your biggest fear?
My biggest fear is it's just gonna be funny. This is such a dad thing. Is dying before my kids get older. Oh. Yeah. I don't know. I think it has nothing to do with me. Actually, I'm not. It was funny because like you get to a point like I'm like you're not worried about your own death or your own like end, but like it's the thought of leaving them behind. That fucks with me. I think that fucks with me like more than I think. Which is like I think the big fear. Like I think I buckle my seats a lot more.
Yeah.
like I do
Drive a little slower.
Yeah.
It's for their sake you're thinking of these things. Like,
Yeah. I think because I think of how lucky I am.
Right.
Like I'm lucky to have like both my parents with me, and like, and at like 37, I'm like thinking to myself like, if my parents even passed away, right? Like I'd be a wreck. I'm like a full grown ass man. Like I had a full, like, you know what I mean? And this is coming from like my mom who's had cancer and like, you know, breast cancer survivor and everything, right? And she was like completely okay. She had found her peace and she's ready, right? But like we had like all three of us kids, like we had like a great, you know, we just, you know, we had these moments. Like I remember like when she was doing chemo and stuff, and we talk and like, you know, it's like she felt she had a full life with us, right?
Wow.
And still like even today, like she's fine, like everything's in remission, right? But like I'm thinking to myself, like I'd still be a fucking wreck, right? As a grown ass man. And then so like when it hits harder when it's like, I can't do this to my kids. You know what I mean? I think like if I left like earlier than like at any point when they're not like they themselves are not nearing middle age, I think I'd be like fucked up in my mind. But I think it's something that's like the irrational fear. Like I don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow, but so it's kind of like just cherish every those little moments like that, and see where it goes. But yeah,
what are you most grateful for right now in this stage of your life, this chapter today?
Today,
Yeah.
all my kids.
Yeah.
Like all of them. Like I was I was bitching, moaning. They're like the two youngest sleep in my bed, right? They co-sleep.
Shout out Isla. Shout out Vicky.
Shout out
Junior.
Don't judge me as a parent. Right? No, even today. So Isla does not give a fuck, right? Like,
she is like the beat of her own drum. Like she just, that's
like,
how she
so
moves through life.
I'm on a call at work. Like, you know, I'm on a work call, and it's like, Dad, I pooped. Straight up, like, Dad, I pooped. Come fix this. Oh, like, you know. And I'm like, and she knows, like, I'm on the screen. There's a human, like, I'm camera on. She knows. It's like, and she's like on the side there, goes on the corner of the bed. Care. She does not care at all, right?
No. I pooped. Then, like, come get
and then I remember, I put her down for a nap, and she does this thing where she like strokes my arm, like when she's like, it's her thing to do. Like that's how she knows I'm like nearby.
That's the cutest shit.
And then she's like, she fell asleep, and it's funny because like usually I wouldn't really like pay attention to it, but this is like one of those moments like I just felt really nice about it, right? And it's like she fell asleep in my arms, and I'm like, this is it. This is one of those moments. That's like when you say like those forever moments, like that is something I was like,
You'll never forget.
I don't want to forget this one, because like when she's like, you know, like a teenager and fucking hates me for real, you know, it's, you know what I mean? Like I want to look back at this and like, I don't want to ever lose out and say like and be so caught up in my own shit, because at the end of it, because like your kids, you'll realize, will unconditionally love you. Like that's what I mean by like love. Like I want to, if you can love someone, and I know this is like putting the cart before the horse, but if you've ever felt the love of a child and you can mimic that love to a significant other, that's how I know you're gonna make it, because a child just loves you. Like you are essentially their world, right? I mean, they could be just assholes to you, but still, at the end of the day, they love you. Like they just, at this stage especially, right? Like they just want to, like, and Biggie's different, Sophia's different. They're also different, but they're so beautiful in their own way. So I think that to me is like that sort of love, right? And you don't want to be caught up in your own shit to forget about it in that moment, right? Like, so just savoring it for the moments that you have, knowing that they're like, you know, one day they're going to be their own individuals, their own people, do their own thing, which is going to be good. It's going to be a beautiful part of their own lives, right? And so I think that becomes like, that's where I'm at right now. That's what I find that I'm grateful for, right? And I keep that as like the kind of, like, as shitty as like any day could be, right? And as dark of a moment you could have, I think rooting to something, like, I think anchoring yourself to those things keeps you going.
For sure.
And like for you, I would imagine like, you know, it's you know, your wife, like Mike, it's like, even if like, you know, friends, loved ones, like just that's your anchor point, right? And I think it's really important to find those anchors and kind of just lean onto that.
Dude, I think just shout out to you and Jenna, because you guys, like, I look at your 3 kids and I'm like, they're just so fucking happy. like honestly, and like what more can you do for a child than like take care of them, but also like give them a life where they get to develop into who they are as people, and like feel loved unconditionally, and there's a roof over their head, and like Sophia's hitting dingers and like and softball, and like, you know, Biggie's climbing the fence next to it and like playing with Keller, and like Isla's like joking with Lily, and they're eating Fruity Pebbles out of a bag, and I'm like, you create a beautiful foundation for a life to be lived, at least what I see from what you do as a father, and it's just like, it's inspiring. It's to me, like I'm not
it's nothing anything special, man. It's just
to me it is.
It's, I think, I mean, like at the end of the day, like I'm happy, I'm lucky to have people that like put my ego in check.
Right.
You know what I mean? And my kids put my ego in check.
Boom.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm never gonna be big time for them.
Yeah.
You know, and so, and my wife helps me put my ego in check. Like it just, it keeps you grounded. Like I said, like anchored and grounded. Like that stuff you need.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so you don't get lost in your own head.
That's right.
Of your own shit. Like,
that's right.
That's something that's, I think, in it, at least for me, that's what the thing was. Yeah. You know? And so, and that's what I'm saying. I don't know if it might not be for everyone, but it's worked out pretty fucking good for me.
Man. Man. What's, I guess this might be the last question. Unless, Mike, you have one for him.
I got a last question and a statement.
Go ahead.
Last question I have is, you have business with friends. Mikey is trying to do some business this year and in the future. And I just wanted to ask, like, what do you think how do you make working with like friends? How do you make it work? Because I feel like I have so many people telling me like, oh, don't go with, be careful who you partner up with, who you figure things out with. I don't know if that was any problems you had.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, or just like, I don't know. What do you think is the best way to go about it?
Love your friends, and when I say that, like, I don't think it would work any other way but this. Is that you have to be vulnerable enough with each other, and that's what I mean by like real love.
Yeah.
Where you can yell at each other.
Yeah.
Like shout, like fucking curse each other out, ready to get into a fist fight with each other. But know in the back of your head, yeah, we're gonna be fucking all right. This is just fucking Smith. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and that's what I said. Like, cause like we will fight with each other. We to this day, if we disagree, like, but we always hug it out, and it's fine. Like I never ever like when I think as like a chosen brother, like that's what I mean. Like the space to have a disagreement. And I think that's key. Like, if you can't disagree with the person, can't have a fight about it, or like, it doesn't have to necessarily be like a shouting match or anything like that, right? But like, and people's like, because like, it's funny because my blood brother and I, like, we don't like we don't fight like that. We just like we're much more calmer to each other, right? But me and Smith will just get into it, like, we'll just yell, like, and that's us. And it's like, I think as a partner, it's meaningful and going into it with the right intentions, and it's okay to suss that out before you even start. And I think that's really important. I think the biggest thing is when you try to be too kind or you think you're being kind, as a kindness, you're like, okay, yeah. Like there's like, maybe you don't like their working style, what they're doing, but you're like, oh, that's my boy. Like, I don't want to do it. You're going to regret that later on.
Exactly.
Because it's going to be a drain to you, and you're going to feel like there's resentment that you'll bottle up. But if you air it out, like from the get-go, and be comfortable with that, right? And to my point, like, if he's a real boy, he'll understand where you're coming from, and that might take a couple conversations.
Dude, I'm having such a crazy deja vu right now. I'm not even joking. I feel like I've had this conversation with you before.
See, dude, that's
so weird.
No, because that's the same thing with family too, though. Right?
Oh my god, this is so weird. What the heck, dude? Hold up. I swear I've had this conversation like 5 years ago.
Deja vu,
in the same exact spot. That was weird.
No, it can be. No, family's the same way. Like, I think family is it's even worse sometimes, because like you feel almost obligated. Like if someone says like, "Hey, we should go into business together," like, well, it's my brother or my sister. Like, why would I say no?
That's right.
This is a terrible idea. This is like, but I can't say no. And then you're just miserable, and you're just gonna hate. You're gonna resent that person. Like, I'd rather know what I want in this and what my expectations are and what I can bring to it, right? And this is not to say like always the other person is the one. Like, dude, there's some working styles of mine that like here, I'll give you a really benign example of one. Like, I'm late to a lot of shit, right? Smith hates that shit, like, hard. Like,
I hate
hard.
it too.
Like, when I say hate, like, bro, like, we've had, I share my location now, right? Because what ends up happening is like, I used to default to like lying a little bit. Like a white lie. So like, so this asshole would call me like, "Yo, where are you at?" And be like, "I'm in the car," right? I say it's like, and he'd know, like, you could hear from the echo that you're in the bathroom or something. Like, I'm just getting ready, like I'm just getting out of the shower, getting my clothes on. He's like, "No, you're not, motherfucker. I can hear
You're in the shower door.
You're in the shower. I can hear the shower." You like a second shower? I'm like, God damn it! And now, but the greatest thing was like location, because now it's like, "Where you at?" So, motherfucker, you know my location. You tell me where I'm at.
That's right.
Like, so it's like
you guys are an adjustment.
It's an adjustment. So now it's like, and you also like, you grow in that, right? Like, you realize like, so that the thing about being on time is actually like, it's not just a thing. It's not a power or control thing. It's basically like, dude, it's this idea, if you respect me,
Common decency.
But it's like, but hear me out. Like, this is something this is hard facts I learned, right? Like, if you respect me, you'll respect my time, right? Because if I mean that much to you, then my time is meaningful too,
right?
And it's not something that's like outlandish, like why, right? Like, people all have their own working way of doing things, right? So for him to find his piece before an event, before a gig, or whatever it is, right? He needs that, like, an hour before we start. Prep, right? Like, that time of, like, calm, of, like, getting to see you. And if it's just me, he's even said it, dude, like, if it's just me seeing you, just present.
Knowing you're there.
Knowing you're present and there, and then I can do my thing and kind of, like, work on it. And it makes you put your face in the mirror and be like, dude, if I really say I'm about it and I give a shit about this person, then I'm gonna fucking show up. That's how I show up.
Now, life hack for anyone that has people that are late: just say 30 minutes before that time, and you're good.
No, but I caught on to that too. Like, you gotta understand, like, dude, this is like a 20-year friendship, right?
Yeah.
So, like, when he's like, when he gives you the time, right? Like, he's like, oh, I gotta have like you build in like we're good. Right? Like no, it gets bad. Because like you get to the
Starts
point
telling you 24 hours before, at this time.
You get big. You got him.
you end up doing the like, you know what, fuck it, bro, just sleep over my house.
Yeah. Just stay here.
Just stay here. As long as we leave together, we're all
Oh
right.
man.
All right, last thing I have
Go ahead.
is kind of going back to the thing with you and the podcast stuff.
Yeah.
It made me think a little bit. I wanted to bring it up at that time, but I wrote it down so I don't forget. Can you help multiple people at once? Or do you think it's more of like you could say yes, right? Maybe a message hits a bunch of people, like a wave.
Oh.
But I also feel like it's the one-on-one. Someone reaches out, you talk. That's a service, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you putting it out and it reaching people and helping is like the service of the entity of the You Are Here podcast. It's separate.
Got it.
You know? So maybe just worry about what you can do.
Right. With you.
Right? No,
Here.
what you.
No, I mean, but with you here.
You.
One-on-one. With you.
Yes.
Big.
Or no, but I think it's okay to think of, the
one.
when someone reaches out to you,
Right,
through your DM, and then
It's
you
a
are able
one-on-one.
to have that one-on-one.
For sure.
And that's,
I mean, also, I think it's like, don't limit yourself to like, you don't need to have the answer, right?
I don't.
yeah.
And so I think sometimes people just yearn for that connection.
Yeah.
That someone is, we talk about like shared experiences, what links you together. So your audience can grow.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, if they feel like the experience of listening to you both, even if it's just bullshit, is meaningful, right? In some way, that's the difference maker. Because like at the end of the day, you're not saying like, you have to talk to me.
No.
It's the idea is like talk to someone
Yeah.
or talk to or listen and feel heard, feel like you are heard or you are seen, right? Like the fact that someone can feel seen by the fact of like, oh dude, these guys are going through the same shit I'm going through, right? That makes it meaningful. That's the thing that stops you from feeling alone, right? Like it's the idea that like someone's sharing in this experience the same way I'm feeling when I'm high, I'm high, I'm low, like, but this is something that I've also felt. And when you don't feel alone, that's when you feel connected, and then you could take the next step, right? Mm-hmm. I think we were talking about, it's like my disdain for other things is like when people feel like they have the answers, you have to go to that person, and they prey on people that are in that vulnerable state. You know what I mean? Like, so like that to me. But to me, what you guys are like, dude, just fucking be yourselves. You guys are great. You know what I mean? Like it's, and don't look into it, because then it's like, that's when you get into your headspace and like, is it this thing? Like you don't, you're not here to save lives. The simple act of what you're doing will connect people to what you do, and then you'll know who's real and who's fake. Just keep that. I think you guys are doing great.
Straight up, we will.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, bro. I challenge you. I'm putting down laying on a challenge because you challenged me in the car, and I'm still weighing that. And you can take it or leave it. But you've mentioned a few times podcasts. You mentioned, if something you want to do or not. I know it's something you want to do. I challenge you to like keep the conversation going, and just by year's end, like have made a step towards that, if it's for you.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like this is an easy one. You're being really nice to me right now.
Well, no, because it's not that. It's,
I was looking
the first steps.
I was looking for an episode count. I was like, I want one. I just want one episode. Babe.
No. Well, I mean, can we do that?
Yeah, we can do one for sure.
Do you feel pressure when we hear that?
No. I feel more like, fuck, I gotta do this.
Let's do it. if it's your like will to do it.
No, I do. I think my thing is like anything else. Like I don't know. Like, do people really want to listen to this shit?
See, and I know they do. I'm telling you, they do.
But I think I'm more comfortable now because like you guys are inspiring, because like it's not about outside. It's again, even if it's just like a thing to like record.
Yeah.
If I look at it from that mindset,
that's
right?
all it is.
And then take it from there.
Even if you just this started as let's just try it.
Yes.
How much of life is let's just try
I
it?
want to talk about I know we're out of time today, but like I want to talk about film with you guys.
Well, we can do it again.
Like
We can do.
I was
this
excited for that. Talking out before this.
About
I was
camp
kind of
and
hyped for that.
everything.
Yeah.
Can't but fuck.
Like we'll have it next.
Okay.
Another time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless you guys want to do long form, guys.
do a 3 hour.
We do a 3 hour
stream.
We have to stream tonight. Otherwise, I would say 100%.
No, what?
So you guys, how long is your stream going for?
We do like a 2 hour.
Yeah.
Twitch? It's on Twitch?
Twitch, yeah.
So
We try to devote 2 hours live to people who want to jump in.
That's it. That's insane. How do you guys like it?
I love it.
I did really.
I love it. I think it was a cool thing. We just tried it.
Are you guys getting a steady crew of people like watching you guys? And
Once,
playing
you
You know what? Like before, I feel like we did have a pretty solid like 10 people like jumping in.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah.
And then like it's kind of I don't know. It's
wavered.
Sometimes we can't do it every week or something, and then
And a lot
it's
of
that
it is-
consistency.
See, that's like a whole new world for me. I've never was like I'm a game watcher.
Yeah.
I'm a shitty game player.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I was like
people
I was
like that sometimes.
so, like I was the kid like my best friend when I was like in first to like 8th grade. Joey Nolan. Remember this? I bike right over it. He was better at video games than I was. I'm like, but I'd love to watch.
Yeah.
I watched him beat Final Fantasy 7 on PS1.
Damn.
that's my game right there.
That's Mikey's shit.
Final Fantasy 7.
Thing about streaming is you either have to be just a god gamer and people watching, or you just got to be entertaining.
Well, we're taking.
And that's it.
But I think that we're taking this into there,
Yeah.
which I think is fun.
Yeah.
Because we have conversations sometimes with people where it's like, you can't do that, Dave, on here. And it's like, well, wait a second. I don't know what that means. And you're like, no, there's a whole language here. There's a whole Twitch language. Of like, you either have to be this or you have to be that. And I think that we're doing something where it's like,
I feel like
it's a bit of this.
Yeah.
It's a bit of the podcast just on Twitch.
Now, are you guys on the mics with like other people in the game?
that we don't really do. No.
We haven't done that.
I would do that.
Yeah. Now that runs some risks.
No, it does. We have to hear
Live.
I do realize that. But I'm just saying, just like trying to have deep conversation with people who just want to curse.
Dude, we
you
do
out.
sometimes. Though.
Yeah.
Sometimes,
just
No. You know what? In the chat, we do have
really
some
do.
random people come in and we have great talks.
Yeah.
And like we're just saying, like just like
is what we
just-
look forward to.
Just seeing like one person just connect. Maybe like just do that just for shits and giggles. Just be like, you know what? Fuck it. There's so much like negativity in like generally in like over the mic.
Yeah, there is.
Just be that.
I like saying like when someone hurts my feelings, like you hurt my feelings, and just seeing like they're like stunned, like what?
Yeah.
Hey, and then it kind of like
But not
tapers
like,
off.
but not dropping off either. Like just
No,
be like,
you stay with
you
it.
stay with it.
Yeah,
Like, no,
yeah,
you
yeah.
stay in the game. It's like you thought I was gonna leave after the spawn.
no.
It's like no, I'm
still
here.
here. I'm
still
with
here.
you
I'm
and-
with you.
Let's talk it out, man.
It's like
Are you okay?
you know,
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I think that could be cool.
like Toxic Boy 07.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not
yeah.
leaving you.
No,
I won't leave you.
It's cool.
Have you ever done like Omegle?
I have no. That's dangerous.
We did that.
I've done Omega.
Dude, we did
You
that.
can do like a safe version, you know?
We did that. It was twice.
Yeah.
And both times
Yeah.
we had like 5.
Amazing
Every conversation was
conversations.
like great.
We
and
met
then one was
amazing
like a young girl who was like, he looks like bootleg Drake, and then like laughed at like
Literally.
and then like skipped, dude.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, that's like, yeah, Omega can be. Wow.
It's a scary place. It's a scary place. But so is meeting any human and sitting down and talking.
No,
But it's beautiful.
I think meeting people in person is less scary.
I agree. Internet gives you that like belief that you're behind a screen and you can do or say anything, and it's also like a projection of like, I want to hurt someone because I'm hurt, and so I can do that here safely.
Yeah,
And,
that
like,
whole,
it's
like-
not real. It's not a real thing.
Well, I think like to the point like it doesn't you can't have like depending on where you're at, right? Again,
Yeah.
depending on where you're at, I feel like some places you can have better discourse, other places you can't.
Yeah.
And it's the culture that you guys bring to it too as well, right? But like even then, you guys go into like I don't know, like a 4chan board, thinking that you're gonna get some things going off right there. It's just asking for like the
Yeah, you're
worst.
gonna
of
get
the worst.
pummeled.
Yeah. But like
we're gonna get beat up.
like the expectation, like you have to go in there with like some expectation, right? But like to that point, I'm like I feel like
Imagine.
we live in a world like that's the thing is like sensationalism
Yeah.
is so big now. Like as far I don't know, and I don't even know why anymore.
What's that thing you said with the real world? Probably like, I want to see people scream at each other. I don't want to see people get along.
But that's one thing if I'm like seeing it, right? Like that's drama, right? Like you
Drama.
want to see drama, and in that case, right? Like I never got it because I'm like, dude, they're just great writers out there that write this stuff better.
Yeah.
You know, like this is like pseudo reality, but it's not even real like that. Like people don't fight like that.
Yeah.
know
You don't
what I
really
mean?
feel that way. Yeah,
You don't really feel like
yeah.
a writer can capture that spirit in all those different ways, right? Like so, then watch an actual film. Like I feel like it's a disservice to all these kids growing up who never felt like who just grew up on reality TV. That like there's actual like. Do you guys remember Garden State?
Oh my God. Zach Braff, man.
Zach Braff's movie, right?
Oh, Mike. Oh.
But like I'm saying, like so
Get over here.
like I listened to the Shins because of that movie. because of that soundtrack
that
too, right?
soundtrack.
But that's like that idea of like
It's about it's the New Jersey love story.
Really?
Essentially, it's
You'd
nothing
love
else.
it. You'd absolutely fucking love it.
It's a great. It's
You'd
a great.
absolutely
No, it's
fucking love it. Natalie
great, yeah.
Portman, dude.
no, it's great. It's just like, but it's like if you had to like put a sentence on it, he just said it. It's like it's a Jersey love story. It's like okay, so like any other movie that's a love story, right? But like,
And it's campy. No, it's not campy.
it's not too campy, but it's there. It's good. It's really good, and it's like as a piece of work. But like you really think about it, like why would you then watch like reality TV as the opposite?
Why would you go from that to that?
To that, right? Like why they don't, or people aren't aware of it or they don't see it, right? That's what I think I look at when I see those things. And maybe because I was never really good at social media ever, like from the MySpace days, like like I just thought it was like weird trying to hit on girls.
It is. It is.
But people are so good at that.
Yeah, they are.
Like guys are so good at that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
But I would say like I'm better at talking in person.
yeah,
Like I can look someone in the eye and talk to them.
yeah,
And I think that's more meaningful. But now people are like shitty at that.
yeah. Well, it's like an act.
And it's not the. I'm telling you, there's this weird thing now where it's like people that want to dig deeper. That's like not the majority,
Right,
right?
right.
So that's why I don't know. I've noticed this in a lot of different aspects of just like hobbies I have or things I like games or music and stuff like that. It's like the majority always it holds like the place in society where you know what I mean. Like how can I explain it? I just feel like it's like it's almost like the world I want can't really exist.
Dang,
No,
I feel
that's-
that way
you know?
too, bro.
Yeah. No,
You know
but
what
I
I
get,
mean?
I get that. But I'm like, I feel like that's what all of this was supposed to be, right?
Yeah.
It is to bring about that world in some meaningful way, right? Like, we weren't supposed to be essentially like locked into these echo chambers of thought, right? Like, even within your own hobby circles of like whatever you guys, like the different hobbies, right? Like, it's okay to have differences of opinion, right? Like, I think
It always was.
like the most robust, like the most like things, the most meaningful relationship, people don't get along like all the time. That's what makes it boring,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And so like reality to me is like so much more interesting that way. Like fake sensationalism is just silly then, right? Like it's almost like we talk about camp like that. It's like it's a campy form of reality.
yeah,
Like we're just gonna say the loudest, nastiest thing because why? And then everyone is like just like fighting to just be louder than the other person when like, and you can see it like as like real people don't talk that way or don't act that way. They're much more like, I always used to think that people like, how people like shit on Jersey all the time
Yeah.
about how like we're like
hate it, dude.
we're like fucking. I'm like I fucking love Jersey. Like,
Dude.
I have it like
That's my guy.
I have
I
it.
say that all the time.
No, I have it tattooed on my side. Like,
Really?
Yeah.
Dude,
My whole-
you got one.
like it was like no, I love this state because like I don't know, maybe it's just the way
you.
maybe like it's the way I grew up, but like it's so diverse, it's so
Yeah.
different. People have different opinions, but you know where you stand, right? Like people aren't afraid to tell you how they feel, but there's comfort in that because like I'd rather not have one stab me in the back and tell me like smile to my face kind of deal, right? Like
LA.
you know what I mean? No, but that's what people
True.
talk about. No, I got those vibes, right? Like people are so real here. Like you just kind of connect that way, right? And I think I don't want to ever lose that in that aspect of it, right? But like with that being said, like that's what I mean. Like I feel like all of this, social media, social, like just in general, like was supposed to bring us together, and it kind of failed because I don't know. I don't want to get like weird about like maybe it was capitalism and money. Money ruins everything, right? Because like
I think you're right.
I think relationships can't be transactional
100%.
because then we all become,
That's my whole point.
bunch of
Vig.
sellouts,
That's my whole point. Is
because
that-
if it becomes transactional, like nothing's real.
that's right.
Yeah, nothing's
That's
genuine.
right. There's smudges of
Zero
fake
genuine.
on what's out there, and then. But I think this too, bro. It made me think of what you're saying now. Is making me think of retention.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, it's no wonder we've moved to, 20-second TikToks or like quick YouTube shorts or whatever to like grasp the most eyes. I think because now the newer generations come up and they're like, we can't watch a Garden State. We're not primed for that. We're primed for a sensationalized opinion or like fake opinion to make us laugh quick or what, quick, or whatever, and move the fuck on because it doesn't matter.
But I think like my fear, I guess, even for like the younger generation, like my kids, even their generation, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's like you're never gonna see the complete human experience.
Yeah, I'm so terrified for what
That's
kids would have
scary.
to
Like
go
that's
through.
what I mean. Like you're not gonna get the complete human experience. Like
I hope
need-
not. I
like
hope that's not true. I hope in like your grocery store you do, or like
no, but that's the thing. I
Whatever.
want to say that you might, or people just, maybe they don't look each other in the eye anymore.
That's right.
And they just kind of go about their way, like
fucking scary.
beep, beep, like with the
Yeah,
scanner, and then
yeah.
out the door, right?
Yeah.
I think it's that lack of connection, and that's when you're and that's what I meant by vulnerability and like people like charlatans like taking advantage of you, right? Because you're also looking to this thing to then help solve that issue, that emptiness, right?
Yeah.
And you're gonna go to a guy who's gonna sell you some shit, like that's gonna tell you like, oh yeah, listen to this plan, like you feel like shit because you're not making this much money or you're not doing this, but I can tell you how, right? And so
We're not talking Cobra Tate.
I mean, Cobra Tate can be one of
good.
But that's what I'm saying. No.
You see Cobra Tate's backing everything up now.
What?
He's backing up all the views. He's saying everything before was not what it is.
Oh no.
I'm telling you, bro, it's all transactional, as you said.
No, it
Don't
really is.
talk
That's,
about-
that's all.
Oh
it
yeah,
was.
no.
Don't talk about my sensei like that.
No, but it's essentially
Dude, your
like
sensei
think
can
about
kick
it.
rocks, bro.
Like, yo,
Can be
like,
real.
I don't get like my relationship. I just say this because like I think it needs to be said if anyone didn't know it. Like I like the idea of like masculinity in general is not a thing that's like one thing, right?
Right.
Like to be strong is great, but strength comes in many different forms.
Right.
Like I'm not afraid to hug my son and kiss him.
Dude,
You know what I mean? I kiss my boy every day.
how dare you kiss your son?
Like no, like the most like I was a sensitive kid, bro. Like growing up, and I
fuck yeah,
fucking
man.
made me fire, bro. Like I'm good at what I do because of that. You connect. Like the idea that there's one ideal is silly. If there's ever supposed to be I don't. That's what I don't understand. There's no such thing as a feminine ideal or a masculine ideal, and that's okay, and that's how it should be, and that's what makes life beautiful.
Right.
It's it's the imperfect perfection, right? It's the idea that like it's in the absence of things that we find beauty, right? Like
That's the clue.
no one comes out fully formed.
Well,
We're all just-
that's not
you know,
what do you say? It's not a high value male talk.
that's crazy though, right? But no, people, but you feel like growing up,
It's so funny.
It's laughable.
I-
It's
it's
fucking laughable.
I got these cars,
But it's a beautiful thing to be teaching your son. Like you can kiss dad,
You can kiss that,
and it's
yeah.
fucking beautiful to be like it's okay to be sensitive
I
and sweet.
fucking kiss my son and tell him how much I love him every day.
Dude,
bro.
absolutely.
smother
It's the
that
most
whore.
beautiful thing you could fucking do for a young man,
Yeah.
a young boy.
It's like, if I have a son, I'm not thinking about any other thing. Like
When he grows up, I want him to
Yeah.
be strong and fucking
gonna be
shoulders to be
mini
wider
tit.
than mine. Yeah. Like, come on, bro.
No, like,
listen
it's
up,
just-
dude.
Yeah.
It's
Sorry.
like you watch them become their own person.
Hi.
It's like the
Cobra Tate.
The Cobra Tate.
Yeah, bro.
You need to be an MMA fighter.
All right. We've reached the end of the pod. Is there
We're
anything
out.
you want to shout out before we head out of here, Vignesh?
Shout out to you too.
Oh, thank you.
You
Thank
guys are
you.
great.
You're welcome back anytime.
Are you coming back? We
obviously.
gotta talk.
Gotta come back and
we
have
gotta
a
talk
film
movies.
talk.
We want to talk movies.
Can we do it now? We're gonna be talking podcast. Maybe this is a good like insert for getting you going.
Yeah. I'm just saying because it's not my necessary. I'm
What
just
if
a
you become
fan.
a regular, and then it just becomes like you parlay it into your thing.
Separate. Yeah. No, but separate from this.
Yeah.
I want to do. I think we should do a movie pod separate from this.
Ooh.
Because this is like a thing that is very sacred to you. I love this idea, right?
Okay.
But like separate to that, because that's more structured. Like I know what I want to talk about on episodes. Like I'd be like, yo, we need to discuss this
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
this
Okay.
thing, right? Like
Yeah.
we can go like I'm
Let's
talking
do
like super nerd out.
I had a good idea
Right.
actually for this.
Yeah.
Like I have a whole in my mind. I'm like, I want to talk about
This is it.
animation.
It's not even in the podcast. It's we go to the movies, we watch a movie, and in the car we do a little thing right after we watch.
Oh, dude. Oh my god, that'd be great.
And that's the episode.
We watch movies. We hang out.
Just in the car.
In the car.
We record it,
Yeah.
That's a
and
good
we
idea.
record it when we talk.
That's a good idea.
I want to be that annoying film friend.
I love it.
No, like, and like we would love it. Like, like,
Yeah,
when
yeah.
like regular people are like, I don't want to hear your shit, bro.
Yeah.
Like, why? Like, Why are you talking about color saturation right now to me?
Yeah. No,
It was a
no.
good
Someone
movie.
out there wants to talk about color.
Somebody, that's my thing. I know there is. I'm like, I want
100%.
to, like, you know,
Yes.
that's what I want to talk about.
Let's do it.
I want to even talk about like how animations change over time.
It's a deal.
You know, it's trend setting. You know, like, oh, dude, you know, like, you know how Spider-Man set a whole trend now? Now everything looks kind of like that. And that sort of sharpened. Like,
I think there's like a certain frame
Pixar was running the game,
thing.
and you just see momentum shift.
Now tell them about the Miyazaki stuff, because
See, that's a whole nother podcast.
That's what I'm saying.
That's a whole nother podcast we're getting into. Okay,
let's do it.
let's do it. We'll call it three boys in a car.
Three boys.
No, that's weird. Hold on.
I like it. Why not? I'm gonna make it weird.
Okay.
I mean, unless you want to.
I don't know what. Yeah.
Movie time throuple.
Movie. Movie time throuple. Stay tuned for that.
That's the You Are Here Podcast, episode 225. I mean, it was awesome. I loved it.
Oh, sorry. Get it.
Shout out Anytime Actors Lab. If you're trying to learn how to act, get onto the website. Free online consultation, and they're doing the free script breakdown analysis.
Script analysis webinar.
Boom.
Also, check out their TikTok.
Oh,
Dude,
out
yes.
their
TikTok's
TikTok.
actually very informational and really
Yeah,
good.
he's really
Puts a lot
good.
of
No, I'm just talking from like, just,
Yo.
I get nothing out of this. Just no financial gain out of this. But Anytime Actors Lab, like the TikTok,
really
if you
good.
want a little like snippet of what it's like
Just to learn
to
too.
be in the movie business as an independent, you know, filmmaker, I think it just paints a really good picture,
sweet.
right? And so these guys know.
Bang, bang.
Shout out to the patrons. We love you. If you want to throw us a bone, patreon.com/YourHerePodcast. And we're twitching right after this. Twitch.tv/YourHerePodcast. Click the follow button. You'll know when we go live. You'll get a notification. My name is Mike, and I'm signing out.
My name's Dave. I love y'all. Please be kind to yourselves. Please be kind to one another.
My name is Vig. It's been a great, guys.
Peace.